Hello everyone, and welcome to my overview of higher education accreditation. I'm doing this presentation as a requirement for ELPA 6872. My name is Jeff Phillips and I'm a doctoral student at East Tennessee State University. I hope that you watch this presentation and gain a better understanding of how accreditation helps to assure academic quality in higher education. This is the agenda that I will follow for this presentation. I will begin by discussing the history of the accreditation process and then dive into a discussion about the Middle States Commission on Higher Education as my example of an accreditation body. Voluntary accreditation has been a part of higher education in the United States for more than 100 years. The first goal for regional accreditation was to distinguish the level of collegiate education from other secondary schools. The accrediting bodies were organized based on region, because institutions in different parts of the country had different structures and culture, and based on the logistical requirements for peer review as part of the process. By the mid-1950s, the accreditation process had matured to a point that it looks very similar to how it looks today. The institution's mission, its own self-assessment, its organization, and its structure are still the key components of the accreditation process. All this has the purpose of assuring academic quality to its students. The federal government got more involved in higher education when they passed the Veterans Readjustment Assistance Act of 1952 and then the Higher Education Act of 1965. These two acts helped increase the importance of accreditation. I would like to discuss some key characteristics of accreditation. First, accreditation is non-governmental. This means that the accrediting bodies act independently from government influence. It is currently estimated that 60% of students receive federal student aid of some type, and the independence of the accrediting bodies keeps the process more fair and transparent. Next, accreditation is rigorous. The process is detailed and thorough and involves many people, internal and external to the institution. Many colleges and universities that seek accreditation do not obtain it. Finally, accreditation serves both institutions and the public. Higher education is expensive and the process helps to ensure academic quality, meaning that students get what they pay for. We will now transition to an analysis of a regional accrediting body, the Mid-Atlantic Region Commission on Higher Education, which is also known as the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. I chose this organization because I'm a graduate of the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm routinely asked if this is a real college. They are, and they're accredited by this organization. The Mid-Atlantic Region Commission on Higher Education was formally introduced under Pennsylvania Commonwealth law on March 1, 2013. From its origins in 1919 through February 2013, the Commission was a unit of the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools. Although now an independent corporation, the Commission maintains an ongoing relationship with the Middle States Association. The Commission is a voluntary, non-governmental membership association that defines, maintains, and promotes educational excellence across institutions with diverse missions, student populations, and resources. It examines each institution as a whole rather than specific programs within those institutions. Here are the mission and principles for MSCHE. MSCHE has three strategic goals and objectives that support these goals. The first goal focuses on educational quality. The second strategic goal focuses on improving their own organization. And finally, the last strategic goal focuses on broadening public understanding of the values of accreditation through advocacy and education. This slide shows how MSCHE accredits an institution. In the Middle States region, accreditation is an expression of the confidence that the Middle States Commission on Higher Education has in an institution's mission and goals, its performance, and its resources. Based upon the results of an institutional review by a team of peers assigned by the Commission, accreditation attests to the judgment of the Commission that an institution has met all this criteria. This slide shows both the institutional and educational context standards. Under the institutional context, I will discuss a couple that I consider important. First, under mission and goals, the Commission is looking to determine if the institution mission clearly defines its purpose within the context of higher education and indicates who the institution serves and what it intends to accomplish. Under planning, resource allocation, and institutional renewal, the Commission is trying to determine if an institution conducts ongoing planning and resource allocation based on its mission and goals, develops objectives to achieve them, and utilizes the results of its assessment for institutional renewal. The second column lists the educational effectiveness standards, and I will examine a couple of those as well. Under student admissions and retention, the Commission is examining if the institution seeks to admit students whose interests, goals, and abilities are congruent with its mission and seeks to retain them through the pursuit of the student's educational goals. Under student support services, the Commission is assessing whether an institution provides student support services reasonably necessary to enable each student to achieve the institution's goals for the students. I'm sure by this point you have an understanding of the different areas and types of analysis that the organization used to accredit an organization. If you just want more, please visit the MSCHE website for the complete standards listing. As you can see, this is a very thorough assessment, and you may be wondering how often this occurs. Colleges and universities in the Middle State region normally are evaluated every 5 years, but the Commission staff members also monitor each institution in the interim to determine if special circumstances require more frequent evaluations. These are the references that I used to prepare this presentation. I hope you have a better understanding of the accreditation process. Thank you for your time.